Hi, I'm Kelly Ellison, and welcome back to my kitchen here in Phoenix, Arizona. So here we are on week 4, dessert week. When I first heard that Paula Deen and Kraft Philadelphia Cream Cheese had partnered up for this competition, I knew right away what I wanted to make for desserts, my granny's thin cake. The only problem I had was I didn't have the recipe, and unfortunately my grandmother had lost all of her recipes in Hurricane Katrina. So I called my mom, and sure enough, she found it, scribbled out on a Post-it, but I'm able to share that with you today. So let's get started. So basically what we have is we have 2 layers that we're working on. The first layer is going to be the crust. We need a box of yellow cake mix. You can use any brand that you would like. I use the super moist kind. We need 1 egg. I have it lightly beaten. 1 cup of chopped pecans. And 1 stick of melted butter. Now on my mom's Post-it, it said good butter. So whatever good butter you like, you need 1 stick of it. Can never have too much butter. All right, so what we're gonna do is get this all mixed together, and we're gonna put it in a 9 by 13 prepared baking pan. So, you can butter it and flour it, and that's great. What I like to do is I like to use a piece of parchment paper, and I put that down first, so it does 2 things. It keeps it from sticking from the pan, so I don't have to put any butter or any flour on it. And it also makes it a lot easier to remove at the end, so then I can cut it on a nice flat work surface. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this stirred together and then get this into our pan. Now this is a really easy, simple recipe, not a lot of ingredients, so it really is quick to make. Once you get it in the oven, you can do anything else you need to do. Now this is a recipe that my grandmother used to make every single holiday without fail. I remember this ever since I remember eating food. It was just always there. I would always try to sneak around on the other side of the counter when she wasn't looking and take a piece before it was dinner time. And I'd always get the Kellyanne, not time for dessert yet. It's so good, it's gonna have you doing that as well. All right, this looks great. It's basically crumbly, so we know it's all combined. We just wanna combine it really well. We're gonna go ahead and take our pan with our piece of parchment paper, and we're just gonna dump this right in the center. And then we're gonna use our hands, and we're going to make it a nice even layer at the bottom of our pan. We wanna make sure we get all of the goodness off the spoon. We're gonna go ahead and just flatten it out now. Make sure that your parchment paper is nice and even and you don't have any wrinkles. Nice even layer, so it's got a nice crust all along the bottom. Now my poor grandfather tried to help out recently. My grandmother's gotten a little bit older and can't really do much cooking anymore. So my grandfather decided to cook this, I believe it was for Christmas, and he put the crust and then actually baked the crust separately, and then poured the topping on top and baked it again. So we need to make sure that we go ahead and put the crust and the topping on top and bake it all at the same time. Otherwise, you'll end up like my grandfather did, which was basically a brick at the bottom of this wonderful Philadelphia cream cheese topping. We don't want to have that. So we'll go ahead and get this in, and then we'll mix our topping and pour our topping right on top. Now let's get the topping together. So what I have is, there's only 3 ingredients for the topping. Powdered sugar. Now this is where I kind of changed the recipe up a little bit. Granny, I hope you don't mind. Her recipe calls for 1 pound of powdered sugar. I thought it was really sweet and took away a little bit from the flavor of the Philadelphia cream cheese. So I've changed it just slightly. We're using 2 cups of powdered sugar. We're using 2 eggs. Now I do lightly beaten these because I think it incorporates a little easier when you go to mix everything together. And then 8 ounces of the regular original Philadelphia cream cheese. So we'll get that poured in. And then I just take my hand mixer and blend that. You want to make it nice and smooth, take out all the lumps, and get it incorporated as much as you can. So we've got everything mixed together. It smells so good, and it's nice and smooth just like this. So what we're gonna do now is literally just pour it right onto our crust. Remember, which was just 1 box of yellow cake mix, 1 cup of pecans, 1 egg, and a stick of melted butter. And now our topping is going right on top. Once we get this in, we want to make sure we get all of that out of the bowl because this is so delicious. You don't want to miss any of this. And then we're just going to smooth it all on top. Again, you just want a nice even layer right on top of your crust. So there were only 6 ingredients in this recipe. It is so simple, yet so delicious. The layers of flavors, you're gonna get the creaminess of the Philadelphia cream cheese on top with a little sweetness from the powdered sugar. And then you're gonna get that crust, the yellow cake mix crust at the bottom. It's so good and so easy. And the great thing is you can prepare it that morning and have it sitting, on the countertop, room temperature, or you can make it the day before and refrigerate it, and it's just as good cold, and it's really delicious with a cup of coffee. So this looks great. It's ready to go. It's nice and even. We're gonna put this in our 350-degree oven. We're gonna bake it for 35 to 40 minutes. Please check it. You want a nice golden crust on top, and you wanna make sure that it's cooked through. These are gonna be great. They're just hanging to the side. Don't worry about them. We're gonna use these as handles once it's cooked to pull it out of our pan and then slice it. So these are great in the oven. Don't worry about it. Go ahead, put it in and get whatever else you have to get done. Check it at about 30-35 minutes, and then we'll see where we go from there. I just removed the thin cake from the oven. I went ahead and checked it at 30 minutes, and I'm really glad that I did. As you can see, the top is nice and golden, just like it should be. I inserted a toothpick in the center to make sure that it came out clean, which means that it's cooked all the way through, and it was. So I went ahead and removed it, and I've had it sitting on my counter for about 5 to 7 minutes. I did say a time earlier, kind of a broad time, 30 to 40 minutes. You want to go ahead and check it at 30 minutes. Obviously, my oven runs a little hotter than what some ovens may, so it may take you a little longer, but just to be safe, give it a check. We definitely don't want to overcook it. So what I'm going to do now is go ahead and just take a spatula, and on the 2 sides, I'm just going to take my spatula and push it all the way down. And then, I'm sure you guys have seen this before, but I just want you to see how easy this is. I'm just going to take it right out and lift it right to my cutting board. So there we go. So now our thin cake is here. I'm going to go ahead and just slice it into little bars. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. The top got just a nice, beautiful crust on it, so it's a little crispy on top, and then it's nice and smooth with the Philadelphia cream cheese, and then you have that cake crust at the bottom. This is going to be absolutely delicious. Before I get this transferred over to my platter, I definitely have to take a bite. Oh wow, can you see that? The layer of the cake crust and then that wonderful thick layer of cream cheese. It's gonna be so good. It absolutely just melts in your mouth. I have no idea why my grandmother named it thin cake or called it thin cake, but I think I'm gonna rename it to the best thing cake I've ever eaten. I just want to thank Paula Deen and Kraft Philadelphia Cream Cheese for this opportunity. It has been so much fun, and it's really put my ability in the kitchen to the test. I hope that you've enjoyed this recipe. This was always a tradition for me growing up in Louisiana, and I'm going to go ahead and start this tradition again in my household here in Arizona. We will have this thin cake at every holiday from here on out. I hope you do too. Thank you so much for being here. Hope to see you soon.